Hi everybody, welcome back to the Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with my rant stroke thought of the day from a very cold day, as you can clearly see. I've got my hat on, I've got my big coat on because it is winter. Winter is here, as Jon Snow would say. I'm in my mobile studio, the Curry Mobile, just have a thought stroke rant about some of the stuff that went on Newcastle United wise yesterday. Now, we should all be basking in the glory really of smashing Chelsea 4-1. Great performance from the lads. Obviously Louis Miley catching the headlines. 17, what a player already. Vision, composure, everything, you know, Carrick Mark II, Jordi Iniesta, whatever superlatives you want to throw at the lad, I'm all here for them. But we're not talking about that on this video. No, we're talking about something that the owners have said, and I think it's a bit of verbal diarrhea from the owners and a little bit of a bollock drop, and I'm going to explain this why in a minute. So Mehrdad Ghodoussi tweeted or posted, as it's called these days, on X. I still kind of get my head around that. You know, Twitter, guys, just opened up a new Twitter. We all flock over there, you know, and call it Twitter again. This is just getting on my nerves, this whole X palaver, honestly. But that's another podcast for a totally different topic. So yeah, Mehrdad Ghodoussi tweeted after the 4-1 victory and said, you know, basically, you know, what a great team, as he always does after the game. But then he made a point of saying we need to support this team more in the stadium. And there was a real undertone to this comment, almost like the support in the ground wasn't enough. And then Jamie Rueben piled in as well and said, couldn't agree more. We need to match the intensity of our players, you know, little strong arm emoji type talk, you know, which everyone does these days. But yeah, a bit of a weird one, this, to me. I'm just going to try and unpack it as best as I can, because I think there's a lot going on with these comments. So listen, since these owners have been at the football club, the stadium, the atmosphere is electric. It really is. I've been at Newcastle United's ground numerous times. I don't have a season ticket anymore. I gave it up years ago because I was sick as fuck, like many other people, and I kind of get one for love, no money these days, so I don't get that many games anymore. But I have been to loads of games in the new regime. I've been to loads of games in the old regime, and it's night and day in terms of atmosphere. You know, the old regime, you're biting your nails all through the game. One misplaced pass, everyone was, oh, fucking hell, shite him. And the fans could turn on players, you know, and a lot of these ex-players, you know, when they're talking, there's pundits now in the media use that as an excuse, and that is a reason, but you were shit really was the main reason the fans turned on you. But anyway, you know, the future is bright, you know, the present is bright. So the atmosphere now in the ground is electric, you know, the team come out, wall flags, the noise, you know, it's fantastic. It really, really is. But I think the owners have really unnecessarily rattled cages here with this one. And it's probably a bit of naivety is still quite new owners. Now, you know, they've walked on red carpets and you know, turned water into wine. I mean, even JC's asking them how to perform miracles, I think, since they've become owners of this football club and the faces of this football club. They've had some unbelievable atmospheres, you know, nights like beating Paris Saint-Germain 4-1, beating Spurs 6-1, and the atmosphere is literally, you couldn't measure it. It's that amazing. But that's not a given. That's not a given every single game, every single week. You know, and the owners can't go into every game thinking that that's a given. There is a little bit of a worry here for me in terms of the, you know, almost the Americanization of our fan base in terms of the old whoop, holla, well, yeah, come on, guys, let's hear you, you know, all that kind of shit. You know, that's not what English football is all about. You know, sometimes in games, fans can be a little bit apprehensive, be a little bit anxious, be a little bit nervous, you know, when they look at the injuries, they look at the starting 11, they may be wondering if their star striker's fit enough, they're worrying about whether he's going to pull up with a hamstring, you know, and there can be a little bit of anxiety that goes into the crowd and makes people a little bit nervous and a little bit wary, but that wasn't really there in the ground. I didn't feel yesterday. I was watching it on my TV, and the atmosphere I heard was good. It was electric, it was raucous, it was loud. You know, I know a lot of people who were at the ground, you know, in the Gallagher, in the East Stand, you know, and they were all saying that the noise was good, the singing was there, that, you know, the atmosphere was up, you know, the referee pissed a few people off, and that really ignited, you know, the touch paper and set the crowd up, and you could hear it kick up a notch or two even when you're watching the TV. So I don't really understand what Mehrdad's you know, motive is for this comment, and I just don't know whether he's maybe just made a bit of a faux pas. Amanda Staveley come out and then she posted something and edited it, and it all just seems a little bit weird for me. Now, you know, as evermore, we always want to be an independent voice in Newcastle United, you know, fan media. We don't want to, you know, take one side over the other. You know, we're just a couple of dads doing football talk, really. So I don't imagine we're ever going to be invited to these super duper podcasting parties by the club. I just don't think that's going to be us, and that's cool. I made my peace with that, as did Mark, to be fair. But you know, this is a real silly thing to say, I think, by the owners. And the owners have done very little wrong in the time at the club, and I think they're fantastic. I really do. And if I've met them, I would tell them that to their face. But you don't need to be tweeting or posting shit like that, because it's just going to rattle cages. There's been a raft of fans already getting annoyed by this. If you look as well, the Newcastle are kind of in a bit of a transitional crossroads period here. So we've came from the dark, horrible, dank era of Mike Ashley, where everybody was pissed off, loads of fans gave up and walked away, like myself. And a lot of them have gone back. A lot of them haven't gone back because they can't go back, because you can't get tickets for love nor money. There's fans now travelling to the ground, but we're a lot more global once again. We're more appealing. We're sexier. We're trending as a football club. So with that brings an element of what people have labelled tourist fans, which I have no issues with fans from abroad wanting to come to the club. We've seen a lot more American fans coming over. Obviously, Darren Eales' experience in Atlanta, I think he knows that's a fan base to tap into from a commercial element as well. And I understand the business side of it, but there is going to be a little bit of upset here, I think, from what you would call traditional Newcastle fans with that NE postcode, as they say, versus the conglomerate fans that are coming from further afield. Maybe they won't be as raucous, maybe they won't get as lubricated, shall we say, as some of the local fans, and thus sing as loud at the top of their lungs as maybe they would do. People have been quoting about the new rooftop terraces in terms of that corporate element, that, if you want prawn sandwich brigade that Roy Keane famously said. Now you look at Manchester United, Manchester City, over the years, their atmospheres have changed. They're not as loud, they're not as raucous as they used to be, because a lot of these people, aren't going to do that. Not going to start singing "The Referee's a Wanker" or "We've Got Bruno in the Middle." I've been in the Milburn stand on numerous occasions as well, and that's a lot more of a quieter stand than say the Gallagher Leazes stand as well. You know what I mean? So that there is different characters and different types of supporters that sit in those seats. They will sing a little bit, but they won't sing as much as the singing corner and things like that as well. So if the owners are thinking they can just put a bit more pressure on the fan base to sing more, to be raucous all the time, like a PSG game and stuff like that, you're not really going to get that. And I think you may be misreading the room a little bit there. And I don't think this game was necessarily a time to throw that out there. I think before a big game, before PSG, I think if Mehrdad had maybe phrased it a little bit better and said, listen, the fans were brilliant today as always. We need you in this Champions League. We're not done there. Bring the noise. Bring the noise against Manchester United. Let's bring it, up a level. I don't think the fans would have reacted in the same way that they have done, but to almost undertone suggest that the fans didn't make enough noise yesterday, I'm not sure is the right approach to take. And I'm going to put it down to just a bit of a faux pas, a little bit of naivety as owners. And I really hope that this doesn't become the norm. And I hope that the owners don't continuously poke that bear, because, like I said, the club is in a traditional crossroads now, or transitional crossroads now, where you have traditional fans versus new age fans. I sent Mark a picture the other day of Louis Miley and Isaac and Miggy celebrating that goal, and it was a brilliant thing. And the first thing Mark noticed was 4 or 5 fans behind with camera phones out, and he got pissed off by that, because Mark's a traditionalist football fan who wants to be in that moment. He doesn't want to take a photograph or a video. He wants to see it with his own eyes, feel that feeling, feel that emotion. And this is, in football stadiums in general, that there is a transitional mentality going on between fan bases, in terms of some people aren't singing and being raucous anymore. They're happy to sit and watch the game, and the first time a goal goes in, they get the phone out to record the moment of the celebration and tweet it to their mates or whatever, or post it, WhatsApp it, and that's just the natural transition of football fans in general, I think. But the owners didn't need to do this. They didn't need to take the shine away from that great victory. It should have all been about the team and all been about the performance. And I just think you've got to be very careful as an owner that you don't flick the switch of supporters and say those kind of things, because right now we need to be united. We are united as a fan base. We are united as a club, and we're going in the right direction. We all know what we're aiming for. The club has performed miracles with the injury list that they've got. Eddie has, the coaching staff has, the players have stepped up, and there's a real good feeling around the club. But just underneath the surface, there is a little bit bubbling over. People are pissed off with the new ballot system. People are pissed off with having to get to the ground early because of the online ticketing system that isn't particularly great. It stops people having that extra pint and crack with their mates before they separate and go sit in their separate seats, and the match going experience for a lot of these traditional loyal Newcastle United fans has changed a bit, and in some cases not for the better. So I think the owners just have to be very, very careful that they keep everybody on side here. You can never please everybody all of the time, but don't alienate what makes this Toon Army what it is, really, and that is their match going experiences. Don't target them and accuse them of not making enough noise for you, because I think, in my opinion, that ground was raucous enough. Great atmosphere, certainly when we started to turn the screw and put the pressure on. I think that was a fantastic atmosphere. I think most people who've been in the ground would say so as well. So hopefully just a bit of a faux pas by Mehrdad. Maybe just think before he posts next time, and let's hope it doesn't become the no man from Jamie Rueben as well to agree with it. Perhaps the guys should just maybe pump the brakes a little bit, have a think about things before they start whacking out things like that on social media. But that's my thought about that. So let us know what you guys think in the comments below. We always like to hear from you. Like, subscribe, if you can be a member as well. Give a little back to the channel. It's all free content with us, but if you do want to give a little bit back, it's only $1.99 a month, less than a pint of lager, which I'm sure people wait a long time for in the ground. Pay a lot more than £2 a pint, by the way. That's another reason why the noise isn't as loud, because people aren't as lubricated, as I said before. But yeah, click whatever option you want, guys. We'll be back with what's going on Monday 10 p.m. We've got loads to talk about. Come and jump in the comments, chew the fat with us. We always enjoy it. Have a cracking weekend, whatever you're doing, guys, and we'll catch you later. Cheers, bye.